I wrote these songs. Hello and welcome back to the I Wrote These Songs project, and today's song is called This Is How We Live, and I wrote it in 2010. What's that over there? Another musical song sung by a vampire? Yes, still continuing with my musical hyperfixation of Lestat and Interview with the Vampire. Now we get into my career as a novelist. When I was a teenager, another way that I would creatively express myself was through writing fiction. I started writing romance stories. I can't even call them novels because they were never that long, but they were basically romantic wish fulfillment stories about a girl in secondary school who finds the man of her dreams. Because that's who I thought I was and what I wanted at the time. But then Interview with the Vampire came along and the books by Anne Rice came along. And what do you know? I had to create my own version. And so my first properly completed novel was called A Vampire's Tale. It is a rip-off of Interview with the Vampire, in that there are two young male adults who are vampires. Only the difference between my vampire boys and Anne Rice's vampire boys in the first book is that my vampires are brothers, not lovers. A Vampire's Tale was told from the point of view of Casper, who was a 17-year-old vampire who was inadvertently changed into a vampire by his older brother Felix. And the story was all about Casper adjusting to his new life as a vampire, getting into trouble, trying to learn how to drink blood properly and properly dispose of the bodies, all of that fun stuff. And let's not beat around the bush. Felix is Lestat and Casper's Louis. It was nowhere near as deep and meaningful as Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. I just like to focus on the relationship between the two brothers. They had to have some love interests later on in the novel, and so there was all that drama of being a vampire and falling in love with a mortal. Anyway, I actually finished that novel. It was lots of fun, and my plan was to do my own sort of Vampire Chronicles. I didn't end up finishing it. But one thing I did have a little bit of inspiration for was if A Vampire's Tale was turned into a musical. And what if the opening number was the introduction and the very first scene of the book involving Felix and Casper? Going back to Elton John's Lestat musical, one of the songs in that show is called To Live Like This. It's one of the better ensemble numbers. It's very riled up and punchy, and I absolutely adored it. So I had to rip it off in my own way, and here's where we have This Is How We Live. And you get to hear from both characters in this song, so surprise, it's a duet! I was able to do this duet because both Felix and Casper were written as tenors, and so I was able to sing both parts for this song. God, it was weird acting this out on the camera in two different parts. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I do quite like this one, horrendously overwritten lyrics aside. And now for the worst lyric. So many, but I'm going to choose The Golden Rule That Has Been Ordered from Your Learned One. This is mainly because of the A scansion on the melody, and I really cannot stand A scansion in lyrics. Also the phrases clandestine and discreet, and submerged in hell, and of course, I can barely kill a fly, let alone a man. I liked this one. It's quite fun and dramatic, especially to perform as these characters. But here you go, make of it what you will, and I'll see you for the next one. Say goodbye to your mortal life and reach your new eternal one. And just admit when you were living, the signs of gladness there are none. With me as your advisor, you'll be taught very well, and learn a vampire's being isn't quite submerged in hell. Before I start my teaching, there are rules you must keep well in sight, because there's more to hiding from the killer form of daylight. The first and foremost rule I have in store you must obey, for it is paramount, so listen close to what I say. The golden rule that has been ordered from your learned one is never to feel fear about the thing you have become, for this is how we live. This is how you'll be, a creature of the darkness now for all eternity. This is how we live, this is how we'll stay. Learn to love the dark and leave behind the blinding day. Say goodbye to solid nourishment, there's something new upon your plate. But don't be scared, for it will be the one thing you'll anticipate. And there is no denying, the taste is rapturously sweet, but when obtaining you must be clandestine and discreet. The kill is always gratifying and can be quite fun, but there's no need to fear about the thing you have become, for this is how we live. This is how you'll be, a creature of the darkness now for all eternity. This is how we live, this is how we'll stay. Learn to love the dark and leave behind the blinding day. Immortal now, never growing old. 17 forever, so I'm told. And to take somebody's life, I don't think I can. I can barely kill a fly, let alone a man. It all seems strange and frightening, but the change can't be undone. I don't believe you. You're already feeling fear about the thing you have become. Oh, this is how we live. This is how you'll be, a creature of the darkness now for all eternity. This is how we live. This is how we'll stay. Learn to love the dark and leave behind the blinding day. Oh, this is how we live. This is how you'll be, a creature of the darkness now for all eternity. Oh, this